those headphones?
No, just doing a check right now to see levels and all that.
Oh, okay.
I have them there, but I wanted to make sure that sometimes I have my speakers and sometimes the volume is different there. I want to see like what you'll hear listening. So I can change the volume here, but it sounds like it's about good right here.
You're good.
All right.
You're good.
And I also have volume for these all these effects
all
too.
Effects. We have to go through all of your effects.
Wait, who said bruh?
That's the
I have a bunch.
Have you ever heard that, TK?
I literally thought that was Ryan going bruh.
Cindy's heard me drop it before in the show.
A few times. Y'all, welcome to another day, another dollar, another holla on a Monday night for Talk Miami. Make sure that you're hitting us up in the chat, letting us know where you're tuning in from. Today is 10/10/2022.
Yes, it is.
Oh, today's the 10th. It's my
10,
sister's
10.
anniversary. 10 10
Oh,
10.
Happy anniversary,
Oh,
sister.
happy anniversary,
It was
sister.
10 10 2020. She got married. 10 10 2020. I gotta shoot her a text. Happy birthday,
Give her a
sis.
shout out.
I mean, happy anniversary, sis and brother-in-law. I will. Sorry.
Oh, how
Thank you
come
for
they
that.
don't watch Talk Miami?
Oh, she do.
Where does she live?
Orlando.
Okay.
She's a nurse.
Time,
She's a nurse, so she might be on duty right now. So.
Oh, got it.
Sorry,
my
Cindy. I
sister's a
didn't mean
nurse,
to
too.
interrupt your introduction. You just dropped the date on me. It was perfect. I've been looking at the date all day long. I don't know why I didn't think about 10/10, but
It's my sister. My sister's a nurse too. She lives in South Carolina, and she don't never answer the phone.
right.
Anytime I call, anytime. I just text her earlier, and she's like, "Hi, I'm working." I'm like, "Oh, every day, all day working."
Yeah.
Doubles. TK, how you doing?
I'm good. Can't complain ever. This is a good weekend. October starting out right. I can say that. How about that? Is that fair?
Yeah, I feel like Mercury settled some things and that had to get settled.
Listen, I think the end of that September, I think it was like an emotional roller coaster. As you know, it was like my dad's birthday plus his, with him not being here, went through some family issues, and then Pharaoh's birthdays, the highs and lows of life. So it's like are you supposed to be happy when you're supposed to be sad? It's just like every day it's this. But hey, it's life.
Honestly,
I'm doing good.
I'm glad. Hey, Nicole Moody. Hey, Laisha. Laisha Williams. Lisa, welcome to Talk Miami. I don't think you've been here before. Hello, Queen. Diane, faithfully. Casey
Laisha.
Craig in the house. Kimberly Keels. Sarah
Casey, you a day late, $1 short, girl.
Uh-oh. I feel like that's personal. Trina Davis.
Hey,
Shonda. We got to talk about the Pain to Purpose Survivors Ball.
Shonda.
Because Shonda and Ryan know what we're talking about. Syndee, you probably do too. We're gonna leave it alone.
Okay,
We'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
And we not laughing about the fact that Shonda looked like a human highlighter with that flak jacket on.
If your girl only knew. She like a cross between Aaliyah and Missy Elliott.
That's a great call. Oh my God. Great call.
More than a woman.
More than a woman.
Oh my God, y'all. Good evening, everybody. I needed that laugh. Today was relaxing. I rested all day, but this weekend was hectic. So I needed to sleep today. So I did.
Let's talk about our Survivors Ball. We skipped last Monday, so we were off last Monday. Let's talk about it. How was the Survivors Ball?
My corner. You want to do it right now?
Oh, is it part of your corner? Then
Yeah.
we will hold on to it. We'll hold on to it.
Look at Ryan.
Mr. Ryan David.
Hello.
Professor AB, how you doing?
Hi. I'm doing great. Glad to be here.
We're gonna kill you, Shonda. I swear.
Ladies and gentlemen, to another Monday of Talk Miami. Tonight, I'm your host, Syndee Winters, artist, songwriter, singer, Broadway star, Disney princess, local Disney princess. And I want to pass it over to the lady in the beautiful pink, TK. Oh, and she is good and muted. Come on back, TK.
Yeah, start over. Do it again.
I'm going to slide it back over to TK.
Take two. Hey, everybody. I am TK Owens. Thank you for that introduction, Syndee. Can't wait to hear the show tonight. I am TK Owens. Happy Monday. We're looking forward to a great show. I'm in pink because I am celebrating Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It runs in my family, and I will make sure I am an advocate and to bring awareness to you. And with that, I'll pass it down to the one that has it all in the background. Hey, Missy.
Hi. Good.
I can't stand around. I break up with him before he dumped me.
You what? That's not how the song goes.
This is a verse.
It's a verse.
Oh, I didn't even know that because I don't listen to the song like that. So, but hi everybody. This is Dr. Shonda Roberts. Glad to. I don't know why we all have the giggles tonight, but I need this laugh. Glad to be back. We missed y'all last week too, Diane. We were all tired. I was tired from the ball. I will talk about that later on. TK had something to do. Of course, the Disney princess is always on tour somewhere, so we decided to take a break and kind of reset. Hey Una, today is Mental Health Awareness Day. So I took a mental day and I laid on my couch, allowed my husband to feed me food and go to sleep.
Chef.
I literally got up at 6:30, got up, put on this for this show, comb my hair, put on some makeup and looked like I've been cute all day, but I wasn't. I had a bonnet on. All day.
Oh, there it is. And it's going right back on after this show.
Period. So let me pass it on. Oh, mother, entrepreneur, author, founder of a domestic violence organization, Pain to Purpose. Now I have my own day, honey, Dr. Shonda Roberts Day. So that's something else added. So I'm going to.
We might need a round of applause for that right there.
Yay!
Yes, Professor AB, you're on mute.
I'm on mute.
Man, I was working on getting the Missy track to play in the background while she was talking, and I couldn't get it to work. Oh man, sorry about that.
Show me
Go
what you
ahead and
got.
introduce yourself while you're doing that.
But hold on, we had to get a round of applause for something.
Thank you.
Oh man, yeah, I'm sorry. I was working on that because I wasn't prepared for. If I would have known she was going to show up looking like Missy, I might have had the soundtrack ready to go. But it's a little bit of. Legendary. I'll get it at some point. Stay tuned during the episode. You might hear Missy drop at some point. Sorry. Good afternoon. Good evening. Hello, everyone. Ryan David, psychology professor, personal leadership and holistic lifestyle coach. Glad to be back with these ladies for another evening here on a Monday night talk show episode here. I'll work on the soundtrack here and get that under control.
I'd like to ask Ryan for your Throwback Monday. When we learned about the news that Coolio had passed, Ryan shared with us in our chat, our Talk Miami chat, a photo of him and his boys back in the day with Coolio.
Yeah.
At some point in the show today, if we could share with the Talk Miami family, pre-Professor AB,
that picture,
that photograph,
bring it in, Ryan.
With the long hair?
We're gonna need to see who you used to be.
Oh, I used to be a lot of hats. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot more. There's a lot of hairs, a lot more hairs than that hair. So yeah. Maybe I can bring up a compilation every episode. Maybe I'll drop a new image.
Yes, we need the evolution of Professor AB.
Yeah, I was trying to think one day about all the hairstyles I've had. I was trying to think about which ones I haven't had, but I've probably had just about all of them.
Locks? Have you had locks?
I never locked it up, dreaded it up, but I had rose and I had mystical braids, but I never had beeswax locks. I never had locks like dreadlocks. I've never done that.
I need proof of mystical braids. I need proof of rose, obviously. That'll be easy. But I need to see the shake it fast.
Okay. Yeah, I I had rose multiple times. I actually had the mystical braids multiple times too. I had mystical braids when I was on SGA at university. How about them apples?
What? What
Yeah.
what position did you hold at SGA?
I
A
was
student
just
government for
yeah,
those who
I was just on the Student Government Association for University of West Florida, straight out of Miami, Pensacola.
Oh,
Just represent. Just I am who I am. I'm on the board.
Okay.
I'm here in the building. But I have pictures.
Okay.
We went on a retreat from Pensacola to Tallahassee for some reason, to Tallahassee for something, and I have a picture of me on that retreat wearing a West Florida shirt with the.
Alumni.
I'll look for it. Yeah, I'll look for it. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you
Well,
got for
glad.
us tonight, Syndee?
Tonight is going to be an interesting night. I've been having a week of self reflection and spending more time. I redid my corner. I am in LA. I added wallpaper to my corner. I'm in a different chair. I'm
I love it.
spicing it up. And you're only going to see this for tonight for the next 2 months because I go back on tour on Monday for Disney Princess the Concert. Coming to Miami November 12th, Saturday, November 12th. Make sure you go to Disney Princess Concert to get your tickets.
Let me get my ticket.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were
We
only going
gotta
to be there for
go.
one night. I'm going to repeat this. We're only going to be there for one night. So make sure you get your tickets for November 12th at the Adrian R Center, Disney Princess the Concert. Yes, you will. I will be there. If you are driving by the Adrian R Center at some point and you see a poster for Disney Princess the Concert, your girl's face is on there, on the billboard. So I look forward to seeing y'all there. And today, I wanted to talk about a topic that we're all sort of in a particular age range where our parents are getting older, and a lot of us have children, a lot of us work with children, young people, and I find myself becoming or doing things like my parents and saying things like my parents. And I want to go around the room and ask our Talk Miami family, what is one thing that you remember your parents doing that you find yourself doing on a regular basis? And it could be any sort of thing from your childhood. But TK, what is one
You gonna
thing?
call on me first, knowing Linda's watching and listening.
Because she needs to know, she needs to see herself. She needs to
Oh
see herself.
Lord.
Hi, Mom.
I know she watches faithfully, but mom, do not take anything I say personally. I learned from you, right? You said good and bad. So I'll start with the good. Um, is that she used to, and you guys let me know if your parents did this too. You know, whenever you were driving in the front seat and they stopped on brakes, she will always do this with her
Yeah. Oh,
arm.
yeah.
And so it took me to have my own kids. And one day I slammed on brakes and did this. And I was like, oh my God, I'm Linda. So it was like at that moment that was one thing that I picked up from her. Because my kids looked at me and were like, Mom, really? Like I have my seatbelt on. Like, what are you doing? So like they didn't even realize that it was just a learned habit, I guess, that my mom did to me. Another thing is the look. And we all know what the look means.
What does your
Linda,
look like to you? What was Linda's look, and then what's TK's look?
Linda would just do this like this.
Oh,
She didn't even have to say anything. By the way, my mom was a disciplinary. My father has never spanked me or yelled at me. I don't even know what it's like. He will always say, if I hit you, I will hurt you. So get out my face. So I knew, I just knew I could do anything on my dad because he was not going to touch me. But my mom, that lady, did I share with you guys what she did to me? And let's talk about the bad. Did I ever share with you guys what she did to me at a Janet Jackson concert when I was 16 years old?
oh
Yes,
no.
Mom, I'm going to tell on you right now.
There
So
you
one
go.
thing that my mom did that I don't like, and I made sure that when I had kids, I would not do this to my kids. My mom had this thing, wherever you show out is where you're going to get it. So she told me to be at a certain spot back in I believe this is like 1992. Janet Jackson was here at the AAA concert, Rhythm Nation. I remember that night. I had on the whole outfit and everything. She told me to be at this spot to pick me up at this time. And I was not at that spot because I was out autographing and taking pictures as if I was Janet. And I was not in the spot that she told me to be at. And all I know is that I turned around and it was like you thought Will Smith slapped Chris Rock.
Oh man.
I got the slap out of this world in front of everybody. I think it was a slap around the world that I was not in place and she was looking for me for like 2 hours at 1 in the morning. So I knew then, Ma, I love you dearly, but I knew then that I would never do like embarrassment or discipline my kids in public, if that makes any sense. But when we get in that car or when we
I
get
guess I'm
home,
not public. I guess I'm not public.
am I the only one? Like,
I
did
guess
y'all
I
do
guess I am not considered public. I
did,
guess the studio was not considered public.
oh my God. Did I do it in the studio? I did
I
not,
remember
Syndee. Syndee,
distinctly
I did.
Darren. Darren
She telling on me. Y'all don't
getting a
believe
whirl
Syndee.
around.
Don't believe Syndee. So
Uh-oh.
that
Get us
probably was a
in.
Linda. That was a
Because
Linda
that was the
moment.
first time I saw Darren's face. I
You
saw
telling
Darren.
on me?
Darren went from this is TK. Darren, get over here. Huh? Smack. Darren's face went from huh to
Oh no.
I got it from Linda. Listen, I
I'm
got
gonna
it from
tell
my
Darren
mom.
y'all talking about him in public.
I ain't never gonna forget it.
Oh my God. Did I really do that, Syndee?
Oh my god, I never
So
gonna
maybe I
forget it.
learned after that day never to do
We
it
were
to
young.
him.
We were young.
But I don't know. I just have some traits, of course, of my mom. I literally sometimes, guys, if you ever had a moment when you even look in the mirror and you're like, I see you, Linda. Or I'm like, I see you, Julius. Like you literally see a facial expression and you look like your parents. I do that. And I'm starting to look more like my mom the older that I get. So, hey, mom, love you.
Love you, Mom. Shonda,
Mm.
your turn. What's one thing now you are a mother of a full house of children. You've raised them all. Now, what's one thing that you remind that your mother used to do for you that you repeat with your children?
Well, I don't, because honestly, me and my mom didn't do a lot because she worked a lot. Nothing against her. I know she was busy. She was a single parent, so we didn't have a lot of conversations and sit downs and stuff. But I do see myself telling my kids about their music they listen to. Like, turn off that car. What they trying to say? What are they rapping? I don't understand this music. I do that, but they dad listen to the same music. So I be looking at him like, sir, can you turn that off? I don't want to hear that mess. I do that a lot. Even when, because now that
That's
my
just
kids
being
are,
old, Shonda. That's like a different question.
but my
Uh-oh.
mom did it to me.
Oh, is that
My mom
right?
yeah. So I think, but it is with being old. But nothing now that my children are adults, they feel they can just play whatever they want. I don't want to listen to no 21 Savage and no little Dirty Bird and nobody else in my car. Or I'm in the car with you. I don't want to hear them people. Put
Not
on the
little dirty
Jesus
bird.
music and let's worship the Lord today. I don't want to hear all that.
Worship the
Ooh,
But
Lord with it.
but another thing now that I'm talking, my mom used to always play gospel music on Sunday mornings, and I would get up on Sunday mornings or Saturday, turn on the music, and everybody getting up to clean up. Let's go. I would turn on the music. Mama had one of them big old stereos that played the 8-track, and baby, she would play this. She'll play with a WMBM, and every Saturday morning, she would turn that music up as loud as it can go. And upstairs, you hear it upstairs and downstairs. And you better get up and clean up. It ain't no going to get breakfast. If you ain't got breakfast for then, you out of gas. That means get up and clean up. So I did do that a lot with my kids on Saturdays if they have sports and stuff. Turn that music on and we cleaning up today. So that's one of the things I would do.
all right. Yep. There's some similarities there. Ryan, what's one thing your parents did?
Man, I'm listening to y'all talk, trying to think about one thing they did that I do, or
One thing that you remember, and then maybe you find yourself doing that.
I don't find myself doing things like you guys just talked about necessarily. I don't have children also, so that maybe it's not the same. Like I sneeze. One day I sneezed and I realized I had my dad sneeze.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
I sneezed just like him, and I realized, damn, I sneezed like my dad, and I couldn't even help it. Like the next time, I was like, damn, that's just what it is. And then I heard him sneeze, and I said, damn, I got his sneeze, but I
What
didn't know
about
it.
your students in your class? Do you find yourself saying anything to them that your parents have said to you?
That's a good question.
Because you deal with a lot of young adults.
I do. I don't. Uh, to speak to my students in a way that my parents spoke to me.
Or what they've said, not necessarily how. Because, we talk to our kids
No,
in the kind of
not
way.
not really. So this is how it went down for me. And if I here's the thing. So we have our parents, and then we have other adults that influenced us, coaches,
Right. Hmm.
teachers. So I had some male figures in my life, role models and such. They probably left an impression on me in the ways that y'all are talking about. So my mom and my dad got divorced when I was 2. My dad got remarried when I was 4. So I visited him with his family, with my stepmom, you know, stepbrother, half little sister, and that, like the family of 4. I visited over there, and for whatever reasons may be, my dad had his priorities to his family, his new family, and my dad is somewhat of a passive man. He will give you the shirt off of his back. He will exhaust himself for you, and he will never ask for anything. So he was kind of that way with me growing up. He never really was too active in a sense. He was always there if I needed him, but my mom was really the one. And so I can't think of anything that rubbed off on me from my mom. There may be one or two things, but that's when I was a child. I've probably spent the last 20. God bless you, mom. She's probably listening, or she's going to hear this. I probably spent the last 20 years or so trying to make sure and correct that I don't act like or do or repeat the things that I don't like that she did. But I think that where my mom rubbed off on me was probably more so internally on my heart and my spirit. It wasn't so much in my overt behaviors that I'm, kind of expressing. So not to get too deep on it, but I was just trying to think of a short answer, Syndee. I don't really have one, but I have my dad sneeze. If something comes to mind as far as Shonda, your answer your question, and if in the future I find myself saying something that is in my mom's tone or my dad's, I will bring it back and be like, I did this today, and it was exactly what y'all were talking about. So that's that.
Well, I think that's really important because that sort of brings me to my point. I'll share mine. Um, my dad has a very optimistic view of life, and he bestowed on me the possibilities, right? Thinking positively, working manifestation and positive thinking and being very cool, calm, and collected. My dad would always say, I never get too excited. I never get too depressed. I always try to stay in the middle. Whenever something goes right, when you ever are about to achieve something good, don't get too excited. Bring yourself in and stay in the middle. And I remember when Indie RE came out with that song Back to the Middle, I was like, I've been taught this philosophy by my dad. But there are things that I love doing that I remember my stepmom would do stuff like at 7:00 in the morning, when you heard that vacuum, your behind was up. There was salsa music, there was R&B, there was whatever was playing in the house, and it was extra loud with the sound system and everything.
I thought of one.
And just killing it. And when you heard that vacuum cleaner, it was time for you to get up and do something. So my mother has a very big sense of humor, and our voices sound the same. So if you hear us on the phone and how we sort of talk, we sort of have a similar attack to words, approach to tone. But I definitely
she got the same accent as you.
Hers is a little more
Give it to us.
Hers is a little more
Dainty.
finesse, and it's a combination between finesse and ratchet.
Let's hear it.
It all depends.
I want to hear hers. I want to hear your accent.
But it sound like the tone of it is very close to my mother's tone.
I want to hear it.
So maybe you'll hear it one of these days.
Accent.
But she's definitely one of the funniest people I've ever met, because her sarcasm and sense of humor is quite dark.
That's a great combination. Your dad's philosophy, your mom's humor. That's an amazing.
Yeah, and they're both pretty hilarious people. So I was reading this article by Psychology Today, and I'm just going to read to you a little bit from the article. Family life is essentially a rehearsal for the next generation. Each generation is another piece in a long chain of life we inherit and pass on to our children. The way families transmit their traditions and behaviors is through family scripts. These scripts describe the acceptable ways to behave, speak, and even think. It is essentially the shared expectation of how life should be. Scripts can be as specific as the preferred way to wash dishes, as big as how we fight or how we express intimacy. So there are three types of scripts that this article talks about. It talks about replicative scripts, corrective scripts, and improvised scripts. Now, just to briefly touch on what a replicative script is one that you can repeat from your family of origin, consciously or unconsciously. So, for example, the way you clean your house or dinner time etiquette, not chewing with your mouth open or whatever, or the way that you sneeze. It's not something that you've cultivated. It's something that just kind of happens. I'm so glad that I don't have my dad sneeze, because I swear that man is pure yelling.
When he sneezes.
It is like I got to back up from the mic. I'm like, are you okay? Are you okay? I said, man, you good? All right, man.
3-4 times in a row too.
And it's like repeated, and I'm like, oh my God, you're gonna like hurt your voice. Do you need everyone to know you sneezed? Whatever happened to like he said, it caused more damage than a whole
like an accident about to happen when I sneeze. It's a whole.
Now I'm curious.
Dramatic. Dramatic.
I know people who straight up cuss when they sneeze.
Oh my God.
I like that.
It's like, ah, shit.
I try to hide it. When I try to hold back, that shit happens.
Ma'am.
Oh,
So that is the replicative script. A corrective script occurs when a person consciously chooses to do things differently.
Yeah.
Or even the opposite of the script that they experienced growing up.
There you go. Right.
So it's like, I'll never be too possessive over my belongings, because I had a parent that would be like, that's mine. Don't touch my stuff. And
yell at the table, dinner, won't do that.
Carry on, just carry on. Honk the horn when you're outside, when you're getting ready to pick somebody up, honking the horn and leaning on the horn. I said I would never do that.
Yeah.
And also run the vacuum at 7:00. I just won't do that in the morning on a Saturday.
Corrective script.
Ooh.
Corrective script. An improvised script are born out of a necessity, like a new reality or a new technology, or out of curiosity. So they're not a replication of or a correction of the past. They are new and often spontaneous, like similar to learning how to operate social media or the internet, for example, emails.
I'm scratching my back, y'all. Don't judge me right now.
I was minding my business.
You got a mosquito bite on that back? What's going on?
I don't know what's going on with us today.
My apologies.
You need the bare necessities.
Bare necessities.
One of them back scratchers.
Yes. Like, so Chef George says
Elijah has improvised script. Syndee, I got to improvise. I scratch my back with the chair.
Use that technology. And I actually think it's probably something your father probably would have done, because the chairs have always been invented.
When I said I got something, I got some things when you were talking. I remembered. So when you
good. So Chef George says that Elijah has my yawn. Now those things are perfectly. Yeah. Those are things that are perfectly in line with scripts.
That made me yawn, by the way.
Can I just say something real quick to Mr. Roberts, since he's watching?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it an apology?
Keep work and play separate, Shauna. Keep it.
I just want to let him know that I'm hungry while he's on the way home. That's all. Okay.
No, she didn't. I know she.
I'm hungry.
I hope you turned it off before you heard that, because otherwise you got to have food ready when we get done.
No,
George, I have to apologize for Shonda. I thought she was going to give you an apology for having an attitude. I stand corrected.
Screen conversation.
I ain't say it. Syndee said it. I didn't say nothing.
I didn't hear it either.
So, family, Talk Miami family, tell me some of the things that your parents had that we say relaxed state of mind. I walk like my dad.
Yeah, she do be wide stepping. I know who that is.
He be wide stepping.
Wait a minute.
Wait a
Okay,
minute.
now.
I know who that is.
Boing, boing.
Yes. Did you hear he said that? Yes, she do be
Oh,
right.
I know who that
Do be
is.
wide
I've seen a
He
stepping.
wide
know that.
stepper or
He
two in
knows
my
that
time.
walk. He
I've
knows
seen a
that
wide
walk.
stepper in my time. I've seen a wide stepper or two. Hey, can I go, Cindy? Can I share what I was talking about real quick?
Yes, you can.
While you guys are dropping in the chat what you guys have, we're going to look at what you have and filter through those real quick. So I tend to, Shonda, it kind of answers your question a little bit. I tend to teach my students and I talk to them a lot of the times the way my coach actually talked to me. I find I see Coach Quinn, rest in peace, coming out in me when I'm going in at my students. I noticed that one. I realized I remembered this might have been unconscious, but then I was like, wow. Like in high school and high school, I remember when I was younger, my mom would play jazz in the morning on Sunday in the morning. Just she'd be cleaning or whatever. I'd wake up on the weekends and mainly Sunday mornings, just small little jazz in the back. And one day I was like, man, I want to, and then I started doing that. That was like legit. I still do that in the morning. I wake up, I have my Alexa set to smooth jazz when I wake up. Manners. I don't know if this counts, but when I went to my dad's, he would correct at the table, elbows off the table, chew with your mouth closed. Don't drag your teeth on the fork when you bite.
I understand that.
So like little things. I was a kid and I was like, why you coming at me right now, Dad? Why are you picking on me? But he was correcting my behavior so that when I went out on a date later as a young man, so that happened. That's one thing he was assertive about. And then when I said earlier about my mom swears that we're real similar because she wants to see all the great things in me, and she wants to see all the great things about me and her. But we are very different. We have similarities, but we are very different. So I didn't want to dismiss the fact that my mom has some great quality characteristics. I like to embody those, but I also have my own that are different. I did undo some things or made sure with corrective scripts to make sure that I don't do this inside of a relationship or in a conversation. You had to do some of those things or whatnot. So yeah, just as you were talking about them, I kind of understood a little bit more about what you were talking about.
You know,
Well,
Ryan, you talked to your mom. I'm sorry, Cindy. You
Go
talked
ahead,
about your
Shonda.
mom before, and I think that one of the things that I picked up that you all are similar, if I'm correct, that she's very aware of like things are going on in the world and speak on a lot of stuff. And I think that's something that you have from her as well, just from hearing conversations about her from you.
So the awareness part is more so if it comes to her attention or if I bring it to her attention. What she does is she has a sensitivity and a compassion for what's going on and an open-mindedness to say what's going on, how do people need help, what are they struggling, what's going on. The awareness part, as they get older, they get in their routine. She's actually now turn this shit off. I don't want to hear nothing about what's going on. This news is crazy right now.
She got tired of the human race. I'm not gonna falter.
She's tired of it. And I don't blame her. So I'll bring things to her. Hey, Mom, you hear about this situation with the Olympic swimmer? Nah, tell me. Oh, this is what's going on. Then we talk about it for an hour and a half, debate it. She plays devil's advocate. But yeah, when we talk about it, she does take that. And I do get that compassion in a sense from my mom as well. Like that's a big part of who I am for sure. I had Cabbage Patch Kids growing up for a reason. My mom gave me Cabbage Patch Kids, 2 black ones and a white one. Like my mom wanted to instill this in me early on.
Mama.
You know what I mean? So that rubbed off
with the birth certificate.
Yes,
with the birth, did you get the one with the hair that
Caleb Scarlett? No, they were all bald.
Grew?
They were all bald.
Yeah. The one in my house, we could grow the hair.
Yeah,
look, legit Cabbage Patch Kids, you could pull the hair out.
Mm-hmm. It had 3 lengths.
They were
short,
older.
medium, and long.
I got the newborn.
Yeah, you had the advanced one. Mine was
the advanced one.
Yeah, we got them before they went out of business.
Speaking of hair. Speaking of hair, Cindy, how do I upload a picture? I found a little picture to share with y'all. It's not
so you go to brand.
I'm going to brand. I went to overlay. It's not working.
Huh.
I hit the button.
Send it in the chat and our WhatsApp. We'll bring it in.
Yeah, we'll put
Did you go all the way down to see the plus sign?
Here we go. Put it out there in the universe. Now, here we go. All right.
We'll put it
No,
up
not the comment in our private chat.
In our private chat.
Yes.
I can upload it there?
Yeah, and WhatsApp. Or
no.
WhatsApp.
Oh, yeah. But even still, I'm sharing it with. Here we go.
We've already seen it, Ryan.
That
means you've already sent it.
No, I haven't shared this one yet.
Oh, well, then we should be so grateful.
I'll send a couple. You can throw them up there.
So thank you guys for indulging in this really in-depth conversation, which I absolutely love. And there's going to be more down the line.
Nice.
I want to take a minute to transition into this is actually would be perfect. Ryan, are you ready for your segment?
No, but I'll get ready real quick. I didn't see the show outline. I didn't know I was going first. I'm going first.
Would you like to?
We're already here, so it's official. Hit the button.
Rick, get the real talk. Real talk with Ryan David.
Oh,
Ew.
Oh, oh,
You
oh, oh,
Please,
oh.
no, no.
Uh-uh,
All
uh-uh.
right.
gotta
No, we
turn
I
don't.
that.
gotta
You gotta turn that volume up.
I gotta be sure I'm not. Yeah. I gotta be sure
Ryan, you
that
got 5 minutes.
no, I won't take that long. I'm gonna just put this little situation here so that there we go. I want to make sure I don't overlap on what Dr. Shonda Roberts is going to talk about tonight, but there was a great event that I was a part of a week ago, Dr. Shonda Roberts event. And real talk tonight, what I wanted to talk about really was one of the things that we're highlighting this month. We have Hispanic Heritage Month. We have Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Today's a special day, particularly that I think TK is going to speak about. But today is also Domestic Violence Awareness Month, as you can see in the background behind Shonda. It's always a treat to be involved, and a pleasure to be involved, and an honor to be involved in somebody else's event and be a part of that. But this is a very important event for me because such a very emotional, personal topic, and domestic violence. We really hear that term, and a lot of times, I just want to really highlight a few things to think about when we hear that term. For those of you who are listening, can think about it and take it with you. Domestic violence, we hear about that, and we often associate male violence on females in relationships. Intimate partner violence, they call it now, IPV, intimate partner violence. We often associate that with males being physically violent or violent and abusive towards females, which is the predominant amount of cases and issues that we find. But I just want to be clear about what this is overall and how it applies to anybody inside of an intimate relationship, family or romantic, that is abusive in a way that is dominating or manipulative or threatening, not to mention physically harmful. It can be psychologically or emotionally threatening, but also obviously physical. So this does actually include female on male violence. And what we talked about at Shonda's event were male survivors. These are males who, yes, maybe did experience, believe it or not, a very volatile, violent, abusive situation with a female in a relationship. But it was also males who survived sexual abuse from an older female. That's a form of violence as well. And then also survivors, male survivors of a family member who maybe was affected, if not killed, by somebody in their relationship. So you might not think of males as survivors or males being affected by domestic violence. It absolutely can affect anybody for these reasons I'm saying, which is that these are intimate relationships that are unhealthy or toxic or violent, or they're unhealthy in some particular way that leads to this abuse. And again, that could be either sex on either sex. It could be obviously age differences. It could be family members. So if you're not affected by this, you can still contribute to the cause, which is we need to make people who are not quite aware of this, or children who could potentially already be suffering with this, or potentially in the future be in a situation where they could suffer from it. We need to teach people boundaries, let them know what boundaries are with their bodies, with their, obviously, what people have in terms of how they can pressure them and what they're comfortable with and what's healthy, what's not. We obviously need to model behavior for our children, and this starts in the home. I would have liked to talk more at Shonda Roberts' event about role models, about relationships, about men and women in the home modeling healthy behavior for children so that they don't grow up with this skewed idea of what love is or what relationships is or what it's not. Then they try to basically make do, and that their emotions get the best of them and it gets sideways later on. So this is something that's very important. And this isn't even really a drop in the bucket in something that's kind of an extension of Domestic Violence Month, which is sexual abuse. And I posted something on my Instagram about this just to really, really piggyback on this event this month. I've had a couple of personal relationships of mine and heard from people that I was really close to and am really close to about sexual abuse that happened and took place during their childhood, sometimes starting as early as 5 years old, that goes on for years. This is horrific. I mean, this is a serious thing, and it's not something we're comfortable talking about, because the idea for a healthy adult to think about another adult sexually abusing or molesting a child is almost inconceivable. But we have to get over that and understand it's happening, and it's happening to innocent children who can't protect themselves. We have to be the ones to talk about it and educate our children about what the boundaries are and tell them. They have to be the early alerts. Let us know when something is not right or when you feel off. We have to find out who these people are. We need to address this. And unfortunately, a lot of the time, especially with these sexual abuse cases, it's happening inside the family. And unfortunately, a lot of people in the family oftentimes actually know who the other family member is. So
Yeah.
this is very, very, very serious. If nothing else, when these individuals do come forward, one, we need to encourage them, obviously, to come forward. Before that, we need to educate them as to, look, let's prevent this. But then if it does happen, hey, come forward and talk about it. And then if they dealt with something that they really couldn't get out of, like, we need to provide resources for them to work through it and actually address this. So much to talk about. And I think it's one of those topics that is hard to talk about because it's so emotional and so upsetting that we sometimes just don't even go there. But if we don't go there, it's not going to change. Nothing's going to happen. So we have to go there. And this is a great month, to really just take a look at that, take a hard look at that, and take action. And sometimes they're hard conversations to have. Sometimes it's difficult to call somebody out in your own family, to put somebody on blast. Do what you have to do, but you're saving lives potentially, and you're really, really helping people long term down the road, because this has detrimental effects in their own intimate relationships. So just something to think about. That's really what I wanted to highlight today. I hope, Shonda, you can elaborate on that. I hope I didn't steal too much of your thunder. I mean, this is where you are, what you're doing and everything. But yeah, real talk, just wanted to really get everyone to think about what that might entail, the scope of domestic violence and how important it is.
That's awesome, Ryan. Thank you.
That was amazing, Ryan. Thank
Thank
you.
It was
It,
needed.
it was needed.
Yeah.
It really is. I just posted on my Instagram maybe yesterday or a couple of days ago about me, just even beginning to talk about and sharing the fact that I was in an abusive relationship. I didn't say that it was. I said it was maybe traumatic, or I just fought my way through it and I got over it. But I never really thought about the aftermath and the consequences psychologically and what that has done for me. Because I do find myself to be a healthy mind, but I am not fully, I'm still healing from that traumatic relationship that I was in for 2 years of psychological abuse.
And sometimes those effects and those patterns linger, and you don't really realize that that's what they are, but it is. Shonda's event really resonated with me. It really helped me put things in perspective that I've cared about, but it really was an event that was really important because it brought everything front and center. So that's where that was.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much. Real talk, riggedy, rear,
Thank you.
with Ryan David. And now it's time to shoot over to Shonda's
No.
Community Corner.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. So, thank you so much, Ryan, for talking about that. You did more than I was going to do, but I came with some statistics, because a lot of people don't, even in 2022. I talk to people and they don't even know that October is as well Domestic Violence Month. Some people said they didn't even know there was a month for domestic violence awareness. Even though our team, we talk about it all month long, we just are advocates on steroids in October. But we talk about it all month long with our events that we have. We're going to start back up with our hashtag exit plan workshop, and that talks about how to leave an abusive relationship safely. 75% of victims are murdered after leaving an abusive relationship. Once that abuser loses control, they go into a rage. So we try to teach them or show them what is needed, how to prepare, what information you need to get, what paperwork you may need. So when we start doing that, I will definitely promote that. But I have just one little slide or picture that I wanted to show um, with the similarities with the breast cancer and domestic violence over this month. So 1 in 8 women and 1 in 833 men in the United States will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. There are over 3.5 million breast cancer survivors in the United States. Now, this is something people don't know, that women or victims, people are more victims of domestic violence than they are to breast cancer.
Wow.
1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men have suffered from some sort of domestic abuse, whether physical, sexual, verbal, or psychological. And this is very important for people to know because they don't realize how serious this is. And I'm sure the statistics for men are more, but this is just what's reported. Men are taught to be strong, be protectors, be providers. So they don't want to share their weaknesses. They don't want to say that a woman put their hands on them, or even if they're in the LGBTQIA relationship, they don't want to come out and say that they were a victim, because men are not supposed to be victims of domestic violence. So with that being said, you all can follow us on at Pain the Purpose on Instagram. Our social media will be sharing more information as things come up. But I wanted to highlight two different organizations. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me go back. The event. There was
We need pictures.
I got them. I got them. I got them. I have my own little brand over here. I separated because I get lost during these segments. So during that night, I was surprised to be honored by our commissioner and our mayor of Miami-Dade County with my own day that is called Dr. Shonda Roberts Day, and it is October 1st.
Mm.
So I am honored. I'm gonna give you this quick little video. It's 10 seconds.
Miami-Dade County Board of Commissioners and the Mayor, we hereby proclaim October 1st, 2022, Dr. Shonda Roberts.
I'm in tears just listening to it. Did
That's
y'all
my
hear
friend.
TK and
That's
Joe?
my friend.
I said them too. Loud.
It took her probably 5 minutes to catch her breath and start crying. She was
Yes.
overwhelmed with emotion. I mean, it was a
I-
serious experience there. It was a big
I
deal. Much
cried
deserved.
so hard.
Yeah,
I
I
cried
agree
so
with
hard. I
Kim.
was, woo. Look, my eyes are. Y'all know I'm a cry baby. Let's move on. So I do have a few pictures. I didn't post a lot of pictures. I'm gonna upload them on the website soon. But here are a few pictures. It's me and Ryan and TK.
There they go.
um, me and Mrs. TK Luscious, honey. We are
These
cute.
girls, no filter. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yep.
feel so well. Feel so well.
Yes,
No
ma'am.
filter.
I only brought pictures in of us because since we're on the show, but I have I'll post other pictures later. This is some of the venue itself. It was very beautiful. And then they gave us a purple light to accent the event. This is our team, my favorite people in the whole wide world. We have Miss Kiari, Tarika, Station with Chocolate himself, Mr. Roberts, myself, Sarah, and Lynette. Lynette was also, she did our welcome for the event. This is me again. This is me when they get ready to announce what was going on. I had no idea, completely lost. Mr. Roberts prayed over our meal because he a deacon on the side. This is Ryan, and then also
MPs.
Ryan, and then Elijah MCing. Listen, they did an awesome job. I'm so proud. I know, Ryan, you are awesome, and thank you for even showing Elijah the ropes. This is his first time, and you were very patient. I really appreciate you.
For sure.
This is the Keone McGee team, and their little girls. This one right here, baby, she gave a curtsy to George and told her that she liked his outfit. She was so cute. She was so cute. So also, I wanted to share two more things. I'm gonna move on. I've gone over my time. So on October, this is from Lou's. This is Fabiola. She's on Facebook. She has an organization called Lou Foundation, and she's having an event called Lou's 6th Annual All White Affair, Saturday, October 22nd. She will be honoring domestic violence and breast cancer survivors. As you see, I am one of the honorees. And the event the tickets are $40 if you want to support the organization. And the website and everything is at the bottom. It's loufoundationinc.org. And the email is info@loufoundationinc.org. So please, if you can, make sure you all support this event. And there's one more event that I want to tell you all about. This Jennifer was on our show last year, and she'll be on our show again when I host. She is a cancer survivor. She's currently fighting cancer. So she's having an event on. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me change the band. I'm doing too much. Move too fast. There it is. That's her information. She's having an event on October 30th at 8:30 a.m. It's a cycling event. Her husband is a cyclist. So every year they have an event to give the funds away to people who are fighting cancer. Let's cycle and fight cancer together. No matter who you are, let's have fun at this event. Food and great vibes will be provided. There's a donation amount of $50 to participate. This event is free to those that purchased the Love Cancer Kit. And also, her story is I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2016. Through love and treatment, I was healed. Until March of 2020, I found myself battling again. This time it was stage 4. So I remembered how love saved me. So I decided to also help others fight cancer with love and, of course, other resources. So I founded Love versus Cancer. We provide emotional, financial, and physical help to those who are currently battling cancer. We are currently looking to help provide emotional and social support for the kids of those battling cancer. We are also in the process of starting a program that highlights the can in cancer. We need your love and support. It's a proven fact that love conquers all. Love versus cancer 80 at gmail.com. I lost y'all. I'm sorry, switching screens. So I please, if you all can, support her event, support her organization. You all, her information is at the bottom. Love versus cancer 80 at gmail.com. The event is October 30th, 8:30 a.m. Her information, her link on her tag on Instagram is at love VSLO, love versus low. Phone number 305-216-6987. And her last name is Logan. So that's why the LO comes from in love versus cancer. So her and her husband Stefan are good friends of mine. And I want to support them in this event. So I want to make sure that we announced it. Thank you so much, Syndee, for my time.
Absolutely, Dr. Shonda. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful event with us and bringing to light constantly the support that this disease and the disease of domestic violence is
Thank
are
you.
bad English. Um, I had a second topic. I think that we are running a little bit over time, and I want to share with you something that I created I released back in 2020. It was a video, a song that is dedicated to breast cancer survivors that you can take. I'm a soldier, a warrior. Heart stops staring into space when they tell me it looks hopeless. I can't hear anything they said. I am frozen, feeling helpless. Is it too late now to turn back? There's so much I haven't done yet. I'm gonna rise like a phoenix from the ashes of doubt. I'm winning. I'll fight for my life. I'll fight for what's right. I'm a soldier. I am stronger. A warrior. Hands tight, looking at the sky for an answer. Can anyone hear me? My voice is weak, but my will is stronger. I know I'm here for a reason. I'm here to stay. I was built to last. I'm gonna rise like a phoenix from the ashes of doubt. I'm winning. I'll fight for my life. I'll fight for what's right. I'm a soldier. I am stronger, a warrior. I ain't going nowhere. It ain't over until I say I'll fight for my life. I'll fight for my life. I am stronger. I'm a soldier, a warrior. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 warrior. Let me hear you sing it. A warrior. Oh, 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 oh. That song was
Yes.
written for everybody fighting their fights, but it was written specifically for my friend Nicole Ali,
Yeah.
who was 1, 2, jab, uppercut. She was fighting for her life with breast cancer,
We
and
love that song. And
We
this
That's
love
song,
amazing,
song is
Cindy,
dedicated
man.
to all the
That's
warriors.
amazing, man. That it really
Yes.
is, man. Taking your talent and your strength and doing something amazing like that for somebody else publicly, like that's really cool, man. Really cool.
Thank
It
you.
is.
Thank you. And y'all, you guys, our Talk Miami family, thank you for all of your support in supporting our podcast and supporting our live show every Monday night. Uh, before we go, you know we got to mm, uh, uh, mm, TK's
that
motivation
sounds
month.
erotic.
Yeah, I
TK.
was gonna say, what we
She about
talking?
to
How
get the
what kind of
motivation.
motivation?
She about to get. She about to.
Y'all
Let
should
me be
already
a
know.
motivation.
Anything with
Ah,
TK's
ah,
name on it.
Dang,
let me be a
Girl.
thought it
motivation.
was a
You should
different kind of
already
moment.
know. You should already know. November's coming up. Birthday, the whole
Football
month's coming up.
season.
Get
All right.
ready. Okay. But thank you, Cindy. Cindy, there is so much going on in October. Like I sent you guys a text. I was like, oh my God, it's breast cancer awareness month. Oh my God, it's domestic violence month. Let's make sure we hit all of these things. And then today, out of all days, October 10th is World Mental Health Day. And that's what I wanted to talk about. Ryan hits on it a lot. We even talk about it on the show. We bring on Dr. Miller just to even talk about our mental health. And I don't know if you guys even noticed that Syndee started off the show asking us, how are we doing? Because that's what it really is about. Today is World Mental Health Day. And now more than ever, it's important to prioritize you and your health. As a community, we do not have to suffer alone as we often do. You heard Ryan say it's such a stigma for people to actually come out and say something is wrong with them. Let this serve as a reminder that you and your well being is important, that your life is important, and that you are important. And so we wanted to acknowledge not only Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Domestic Violence Month. We're going to continue the rest of this month to bring on special guests. But also, today we celebrate everyone who is struggling with a mental health illness and let you know that it is okay. And I wanted to share a video with you because where it all starts is us acknowledging that something is wrong and bring awareness to what's happening to us. Let's take
I
a
was
look.
about 16 when I was diagnosed with depression. My doctors think that it stemmed from my parents divorcing and struggling with school, really.
It all started when my father died when I was at high school.
It all started in university during my final year.
It all started when I was 16. I came out of a relationship I was in at the time and I started purging and self-harming.
I first realised I had a mental health problem when I was 15. I was cutting myself every day and crying all the time.
Soon after the attack happened, I started to feel throes of anxiety, panic attacks started creeping in.
I first realised that I had a problem when I really wanted to stop all the things I was doing, but I just couldn't seem to stop no matter how badly I wanted to.
I was suffering from hallucinations, which at the time were really scary because I didn't know what was reality and what was my imagination.
At my worst, I felt like I was absolutely worthless, alienating and destructive, with no help of recovery.
I felt like I had this black cloud hanging constantly over my head, and it's just a feeling that stays with you and you can't seem to get away from it at all, and you feel completely alone.
I felt like this was going to be it forever.
I felt as though I'd never reach any of my ambitions or my goals.
I felt like I was in my own bubble, hearing muffled voices of people around me.
When I had my first proper mental breakdown, and I decided to run away from home.
I felt like the world would be better off without me.
And that's where it all starts. From our mouth to God's ears is to ask for help and understand that you are loved and that there are people out there that will help you. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Syndee, don't make me cry because you know I was trying to hold in something. So Ryan, bring us back.
Oh my
That's
God.
important, TK. I just real quick, I want to piggyback on that. You know, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Those words are phenomenal. Guys, anybody listening, understand this is what we need you to do. We need you to express yourself and talk about it and come forward. But don't just start with social media and start talking about it or posting about it. That's going to give you a false sense of relief. What you need to do is
Absolutely.
privately go get some help from a professional, work through that on your own time personally. And then if you want to come back to social media like those folks did and talk about what you overcame, how you did it, and how other people can do the same thing, that's what's important. But I think in today's day and age, it's so easy to feel like if we turn to this to tell everyone what we're going through, that'll be the answer. And it will not be. And it'll probably cause more pain and more challenges for you to begin with. Don't turn to social media. Actually, if you're struggling with mental illness, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say one of the best things you could do is try to cut down your time on this. Go on a cleanse, like detox from social media. Get back in tune with where you are right now. Talk to a professional. Reach out to us. All four of us will be able to get you all some resources. Step aside from the everyday monotony, the social media, and talk to a professional first. Do not use social media as this false form of expressing yourself or sharing or disclosing or me too, or I have this. Keep it personal until you overcome it. Then share your success story. That's really what I was thinking when you were sharing that information with us, TK.
Absolutely. And it's about protecting your peace. And you're right. Sometimes, Ryan, we have to disconnect from social media, which sometimes can be this false narrative. So the main thing is acknowledging that something is wrong and getting the help that you need. And please understand to surround yourself with a support system that can help you get through it.
Yeah.
To really piggyback on that, TK, I get really emotional because I've had a really rough year dealing with a loss of a person very close to me from suicide, and it doesn't feel better. You just learn how to deal with it. You learn how to deal with that person not being around. But I've spent 9 months on the road. And although I'm surrounded by people constantly, a
Takes a
lot of it
toll.
is very quick interaction. Came through the show, love it. Oh my God, it's amazing. You're fantastic. Thank you so much. I'll see you real soon. And I appreciate all of that, but I started to realize that there was something happening with me that I needed time off, and I needed to go home, and I had gotten used to reaching out to my friends on the phone because COVID just didn't allow us to be in person. And so that became my normal. But I sort of started forgetting about the actual person to person interaction you need with someone who can help physically pull you out of an emotional state or mental psychological state when you're in a downswing. And I took a break this week and redecorated my house and brought in an incredible professional organizer. Her name is Charlotte Upshaw. She's local to Los Angeles, a sister. She came in and she redid my entire house. And she made this thing that I looked around as an overwhelming mountain. She made it better. And she
Yeah.
completely transformed my home and my mental state. And I had friends come over and we cooked. I didn't go out. I didn't go out to a restaurant and walk away from my problems. My problems were here at home. So I needed people to come into my space and uplift my space. And I spent the week doing that. And I feel so much better. I was inspired by Shonda and I started working out 3 times a week, 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And pushing myself and getting up and showing up for myself and respecting myself enough to do those things. And it's been a transformational week and I feel so much better. And TK,
Yeah.
it's no joke. Stay away from social media
Yeah.
and reach out to people who you can trust your mental state with.
Yeah,
Your
and it just
psychological
takes
state with.
one. It just takes one person. And trust me when I tell you, you see Syndee's in tears. This is why this mental health is so important, because you get to the point where you think nobody cares, and then you commit suicide and you're gone. You don't understand the pain that is left. You have to understand right now, we care about you. So let's get some help right now so that you can see that and you can appreciate that. It's very difficult. So yeah, reach out. Don't reach out through the internet. And social media is a false sense of expression. You feel like you're talking to people with the selfies and the FaceTime. You're not talking to anybody. You're just putting it out there and you're waiting to see maybe if someone sends something, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, or oh, so how you doing? But that's Syndee hit it on the head, man. That's
Yeah.
not real life interaction.
Not real
Those
life.
people really, they don't matter in the same way that your family or your friends or someone in the same room, or even a counselor that has unconditional positive regard for you matters. Like, just speak to someone that, like you say, is a professional and that cares. That's a really big deal. And it's hard to do because we get in these patterns. So yeah, thank you,
Absolutely.
both of you, TK, for bringing that up, talking
Thank
about what
you.
today is, Syndee for sharing, obviously, what you've been through, how important it is. But I mean, even Shonda, the things that you're doing with domestic violence awareness, these things are things that people experience and go through that weigh on them, and they don't want to reach out. It's about reaching
Yeah.
out. Get rid of that stigma. You don't got to reach out by
Yeah.
expressing it to the world. Just reach out to one person and ask them, hey, you think you know anybody that maybe can, any counselors or any resources? I can't tell you what it is like for me. I don't mean to go on, but when I have a student come up to me, either during the semester, at the end of the semester, but usually after I mention it or talk about it, and either
Yeah.
ask me sometimes in class, do you have resources, or come by my office hours? Hey, Mr. AB, I just want to ask you about the thing we talked about in class. Do you know of anybody? Do you have resources? Like, I get emotional instantly, and I do everything I can to give them the resources, but not everybody will do that because they have reservations. So just find someone that you feel halfway comfortable with and reach out, or call a hotline. It's anonymous. Start with
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely.
And if you don't feel like calling a hotline and you want to reach out to us, Ryan can definitely connect you with a professional. Dr. Shonda is already there for
Yeah.
those who are going through domestic violence. Reach out to her. We can provide you with the resources and the help you need. So feel free to reach out to us.
And if you're someone,
Absolutely.
you guys that are listening, you don't have to be therapists or counselors. You just be the conduit and the resource for them to get the professional help. Encourage them, to take them for a ride, take them, pick them up and drop them off at the appointment. Like, you don't have to don't be overwhelmed. Like, you don't have to be it. Just facilitate the help.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there would be times where people who I'm working with are like, "How are you doing?" I was like, check on me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes just send me a text message. A lot of the time, my friends and family think I'm too busy, and
Yes, I do that all the time.
they don't want to bother me because I got a lot going
Check on
on.
me.
And so then
Bother me.
I find myself talking mostly to my parents.
Mhm.
I have my handful of best friends and my parents,
Yeah.
and sometimes, and if I see a call and it's a missed call, know that I'm going to call you back. I'm not that person that goes on days and days. I'll at least send you a message, say, hey, how are you doing? Is this an emergency? There are now triggers that I didn't have before, but now I have them, because it could be detrimental if I don't answer that text, or if I don't
Yeah.
respond to that phone call. And also, I'm a busy person, but I'm also still a person. And just because we have a lot on our plate doesn't mean that we don't deserve a little check-in every now and then.
Yes.
Our lives are fabulous,
Yes.
but we're still people.
Syndee, when we jumped on, you said something about, sorry, TK, she was talking
Yeah.
about, ask me how I am. You want to get a
Yeah.
shirt, ask me how I am, ask
Yes,
me how I'm
Shonda.
doing,
That's
ask me how
right.
I'm doing. And just, I want to say, it reminded me what you said, which was, for everybody listening, a lot of times you don't think about asking the bubbly, outgoing, pleasant, energetic person how they're doing, but that's a big misconception. This is the thing. Y'all have to have real conversations that last longer than 20 seconds to find out how somebody like Shonda, somebody like myself or Syndee, maybe
Yeah.
that seems like we're good, we're put together, we got energy, whatever the case is. You got to have a real conversation. After about 5 minutes, then maybe we'll be like, you know what? This is really going on. This, like, oh, really? How you doing with that? Yeah, we'll tell you the honest truth. Da, da, da. Next thing you know, wow, this person who's outgoing or seems like they have it all put together, they're really dealing with something. Let me keep them in mind. I mean, and this is coming from a counselor now. You ask yourself the question, who does a counselor talk to for, as a counselor? Who do I go to? So I know what it is like for everyone to think that you got it all figured out. You're fine. I don't need to ask how he's doing. And that's fine. I understand that. But I'll tell you what, you really appreciate the few people who understand, hey, I need to check in and see how they're doing, even though it might not seem like something's
That's
wrong.
right.
And you might not be the obvious ones. It might not be the obvious ones is what I'm saying.
Valid point, Ryan. Go ahead, Shonda.
No, but go ahead.
I was saying, and you hear this all the time, Shonda. I'm a certified motivational speaker, and I always motivate others. But who motivates the motivator?
Right.
Because one thing Shonda gonna do, she gonna check on me. You understand me?
But that's perfect. Like y'all human. Like, yeah, I'm a person. I need people to check on me just like we check on people.
Yeah.
And I have learned lately, because I do have, I can't say I am blessed with friends like TK and like Lynette and Nikki and Terry that call me and they ask me, Are you okay? How you doing? I'm just checking on you. And I have learned to take a minute before I respond because I'll be like, girl, I'm good. I'm all right. I take a deep breath and say, you know what? I'm
Be
not good
honest.
today.
You got to be honest. Don't be
I'm
afraid to
not
be
good
honest,
today.
y'all. Yeah.
Right.
Don't be afraid to be
I've said
honest.
that. I'd be like, no, I'm not good
I'm not
today.
okay.
They may ask what's wrong. Lynette would just start praying. She said, we finna pray. Some may ask what's wrong, and I'll go into it, or like, well, I'm Nikki, I'm around the corner. Do I need to come? She said, never mind.
That's me. That's me, Shonda.
Right. And before I know it, she'd open the garage. I'm here with her bottle of wine or whatever it is that she got. But you gotta have people in your life to ask you that. But you also have to be honest with yourself and be honest with them. And don't be so quick to say, I'm all right, when you know you're not. I tell my kids it's okay to not be okay. I have one that deals with depression. And as we were talking, I started texting him because I just remember I haven't seen him today. And when I don't see him or hear from him, I gotta make sure he's okay. And my question was to him, hey, you good? Just checking in. He said, yes, Mom, I'm all right. I forgot to text you. Because I have to know that my kids are okay. They may get tired of me texting them, but if I don't get a response, I'm calling. You better answer me in about a good minute and 30 seconds, or I'm calling. So, just know that the ones that do deal with depression, just take an extra moment to check on them. I have to put it in a calendar in my phone that on Thursdays at 2:00, I need to call Syndee or I need to call someone. If you have to do that to remember, make sure you check in on people that especially the ones that battle depression.
Last thing I want to say is that's the reason why you got to keep real, genuine friends around you that you can tell the truth to. Because one day you might need to tell the truth about how you're feeling and how you're doing. And if it's a fake friend or it's not a genuine relationship, you're not going to tell the truth. You're not going to want to burden them. You're not going to want to get into it. Nah, man, I deal with 3-4 people around me. I don't need 20. I just need 3 that if I'm going through something, I'm going to tell you, bro, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I'm having a shit day or I can't believe this happened or whatever. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't want someone around me I got to be fictitious with. So that's why it's important. Keep people around you can tell the truth to. If you can't tell them the truth, let them go, man. They don't belong in your life. You need them because when you need to tell the truth that one day, you don't want to hold back on something that's really important.
That's right.
And also, I'll add to Ryan and Shonda, I'll say, being silent but being present can also help.
With the person, yes. You don't got to say much.
Just be a listener and be present. Yeah. Make sure that they had something to drink, like water. They've eaten. They've had a hug.
The human stuff.
They have had a good cry.
Basic needs.
Spending time with my neighbors. We've seen each other every day. We cook at each other's apartment. We took turns cooking at each other's apartment every day, and just purging about what the last few months have done for us as women. And it has transformed me in such a great way. And so I'm so grateful to have had that opportunity as before I go back on the road again for another 8 weeks.
You got to make sure you're healthy.
Yeah. And I feel
mentally
much better.
Healthily.
Yeah. I feel much better. So thank you all so much. This conversation has been huge. And we hope that you, our Talk Miami family, hit us with some hearts and some likes. If you found our broadcast tonight, our streamcast tonight impactful, please share this episode on your Facebook page, on your YouTube page. Share the link. Make sure that anybody who you think could benefit from this conversation can and will get heard. We'll get to hear this. Sorry, my words. And every week we are here Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can always follow us on Facebook at Talk Miami Talk Show, on Instagram and Twitter. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at Talk Miami Talk Show. And if you miss our Monday night live cast, you can always check us out on wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, at Talk Miami Talk Show. I want to thank you guys so much for rocking with us always, every Monday night. And I'm going to be in and out the next few weeks, next 8 weeks, because I'll be on the road, and you know how the internet be. And I don't know if I'll be between a show and a tour bus or a hotel room. So I love you all.
I'll be hosting next week. I'm going to hold it down. We got some relationship topics next Monday. I got some ideas for relationship topics real quick, Syndee. Just mean to jump in. Before you shut it down, Syndee, real quick, y'all were waiting the whole
pictures
night.
are there, Syndee.
Hair shots. It's me with Coolio. I think this is like 2012-ish. This is like 4 in the morning.
No, you can just show up close.
Vegas. Yeah. But just on Coolio right there, rest in peace. That's me with my boys. I think this is like 2012-ish, maybe before that. That's outside the club. This is in the club. Me and my dog Gary Hester. Shout out Hester.
Roller set. You call me a human highlighter.
That's
You
the
walking around here with a roller
we were at the club. Hey, true story. I got a true story before we go. We're in the club. Do I have a picture of Suave? Look at okay, that's Kevin with the red shirt on, right? See him Suave to the left. So we're in the club and we get there and Snoop Dogg's performing. He has all of his people. He's in the corner. Now, Snoop Dogg's crib, he's blue. We walk in about 5 or 6
red.
and Kevin has his red shirt on, no lie. Somebody from the squad got off stage and walked up to Kevin and said, "Hey, bro, what's up with that red shirt, blood?"
Oh,
like it's burgundy.
It is classic. We were like, nah. We just no, we're not repping. It's cool. Da da da. I'll take it off if you want, bro. No, just checking. Da da da. It was crazy. True story. That was wild. And then we went out and saw Coolio after that night. So there's the close up. And then on the way out, there go the Mystical Locks. There he is.
There you go, Syndee.
There he is. There he is with the gold chain. There he is. There your boy.
Yes, rubber bands at the end. You see the rubber bands?
Man, I was 18. I was 19 years old. I think I was 19.
Chain. You know you from Miami, bruh. You know you from Miami.
Get through some things. That boy cultured right there, boy.
I'm dead. I am dead. Ryan, thank you so much for that. And to all of you, our Talk About Me family, from us to you, have a great night.
All right, ladies.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Oh man.
All right, we got to stay on for 2 more seconds just so Ryan can get these comments.
Hey man, I was just, you know what I mean, checking it out. It's just hair, it's just hair, you know what I mean?
Hair, don't care.
Okay, Lynette said, teach Ryan.
When it was really long, I had rows. That's why it was really long, but so whatever works.
Oh my gosh. Good night, everybody.